Okay, so today we're going to do a quick video on the 7 Hz Salnotes Crinacle Zero 2. As the name suggests, this is of course a collaboration between 7 Hz and Crinacle. I don't know who Salnotes is. Maybe someone can let me know. And if you're wondering what this is of course the follow-up to the Zero, which in my opinion was the better Zero compared to the Truth Ear Zero, the blue one. This is all very confusing. Everything is called Zero for some reason. And audio products are basically just like a sea of collabs everywhere. And yeah, this is one of the cheaper ones. It comes in at cheap. I don't actually know the price, but it's cheap. And it is a single dynamic driver in here going on. As far as the sound signature is concerned, this is basically the same as the original Zero, which is to say quite good, just with extra bass and a little bit of a refinement to the treble. So in this video, we're going to get into that. Okay, so just as we get started here, a quick disclaimer. This unit was provided for review by Linsol. Of course, I haven't been paid to say anything in particular about this product, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. Big thanks to Linsol for sending it in for review. Taking a look at the box, it's quite no nonsense. You get basically nothing on it. There's no indication of the frequency response on the back, which is a shame. I always like it when that's on there, but they didn't put it for this one. And much to the dismay of a particular segment of the audiophile crowd, there is no cartoon child on the box. Come on, man, where's the cartoon child? I expected at this point. You also, of course, get the cartoon child on the box, which, of course, isn't really something that I care about. But maybe you do. Maybe you do. People care about it. Anyway. Okay, no, I'm glad there's no cartoon child. This is better. Let's stick with that from now on. But as I mentioned, guys, because this IEM comes in at cheap, there's really not much going on for the packaging and the rest of the accessories. You get the IEM, you get a bunch of different tips here, and then you get the cable, which is one of the cheaper feeling cables. It's about to be expected. For the IEM itself, the shell design, it also feels like it's cheap plastic. And it is, you can actually see through it. It's translucent here. I do prefer the shell design that they went for with the previous one. It looks basically the same, just with the translucent shell here. And a different color scheme. I preferred the kind of black-ish color scheme that they had going on with the other one. But of course, what is most interesting about this IEM is the sound quality that you get for the price. Now, there are a couple of things to talk about here, and I'm going to tell you guys right now that at the end of the day, this is not an IEM for me at all. And I have to say that with a recognition that if you're looking for good value in audio, this should be high on that list. So let me just be very clear about this. At the price that this comes in at, nobody should be complaining. I think everybody should be overjoyed that something like this exists at this price point. But there are some deal breakers for me with this product, and it's not just to do with the tuning. So let's get into that. So I'm showing you guys the graphs here done on the B&K 5128, which is currently the most advanced headphone measurement system. You're going to see here both the raw and the compensated results. And you can see that this looks very good. This is very similar to the original Zero from Salnotes. And again, I preferred that over the Truth Ear Zero, which was the more Harman-like tuning. With this new one, the Zero 2, you get a similar sound signature to the original Zero, just with the bass boost, like I mentioned, and then there's a couple of differences in the treble as well. And I think that's a natural evolution from the original Zero. A lot of folks just wanted more bass, so now you have that, which is great. You can see there's the dip in the lower mids there. This is a byproduct of, again, the older paradigm of IEM couplers. It's fine. This exists basically everywhere. And lastly, you can see here, compared to the original, the Salnotes Zero 2 is a little bit more refined in the upper treble compared to the previous one, and I think that's a good thing. So overall, I would say this is a mostly balanced kind of presentation that is slightly V-shaped, but not overly done. And at this price point, really, there is nothing that you could complain about, like I've mentioned. At the same time, there is an issue with this IEM that, for me, makes the sound quality a deal breaker. And the issue has to do with the fit. Now, that's going to sound a little bit weird because it's like fit and sound aren't necessarily the same, but they are. Well, they're related. The fit actually does influence the sound that you get at your eardrum. And to demonstrate this, I'm just going to show you different insertion depths. This one, the Salnotes Zero 2 here, does vary substantially depending on the insertion depth that you have. And when I use it in my ears, while it's reasonably comfortable, the fit here is particularly shallow. And that means that they just kind of sit at the end of my ear canal, causing, at my eardrum at least, and what I perceive to be a significant amount of glare in the 4.2K region. So it's not like that usual kind of like shouty, honky presentation for the upper mids. This is more of that like lower treble glare emphasis that I am also particularly bothered by. So this won't necessarily come through in the measured result, but for the way that it fits with my ear, that's how I hear it. And I was able to test this by jamming them in as far as I could, and it would reduce that same region and it would get more tolerable for me. I'm still going to say it was perfect, but it was significantly better than what it was without, just by having it at the ear canal entrance where it was normally sitting. And what I also found is once I sort of jammed them in there as far as I could, and I was tip swapping with, foam tips and all kinds of different stuff, it would sort of gradually, slowly pop out of my ears. So that was a bit of an annoyance. And I have to say that I don't know how this is going to be for everybody. This might fit perfectly fine for the majority of the population, but for me, it just sort of tends to fall out at least to the end of the ear canal, causing that sort of shrill and glaring presentation to the lower treble. So that's what I EQ'd on, and I basically kind of gave up on trying to get it to fit in my ears. I just reduced the lower treble. I kind of filled in that lower mid-range dip as well. I reduced some of the upper bass, and that's it. So if you're interested in my EQ profile, if that's happening to you with these, I'll leave my EQ profile linked in the description. But of course, with in-ear headphones, you're going to have to base this on your own head-related transfer function, because that is being assumed essentially by the manufacturer because the pinna is being bypassed. What does it sound like? Well, it sounds like when listening to tracks that have vocals or, horns or guitar tones, certain guitar tones, they can come across a bit too biting and fatiguing and glary, even though for much of the rest of the mix, it sounds great. So while I was listening to, for example, Stephen Wilson's Harmony Codex album, the electric guitar would come through a bit too forward and biting for me, but then the drums and everything else would come through, totally fine. The cymbals would hit wonderfully. So that's my main critique. This is so cheap that it doesn't matter. This is a fire and forget kind of product where it is competently tuned and you don't need to really think too much about it. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work, and you're not out a ton of money. So that's great. Like for me, I obviously wouldn't buy this, but I'm absolutely going to recommend it. It's absurdly well tuned for the price, right? Like you would never, a few years ago, you would never find stuff that sounds as good as this at this price point. And just like there's another note on this. Okay, so like I've seen the commentary online about all these collabs are just annoying at this point. The market is oversaturated with collabs. And again, I get that this tuning is a very tired one. This is something that exists at so many different price tags. I guess it might as well exist now at the ultra budget, ultra cheap price tag. So by all means, apply your scrutiny to this trend. Just recognize what this is, where this price point is, and why it makes perfect sense to have a product like this at this price point. You get reasonable, sensible tunings for the masses. It might be the McDonald's cheeseburger of tunings, but the people have been hungry for years, and now they can eat. They can feast. I had just one other criticism here. This is just what I do. I'm just a meanie boy. The 2-pin connector here, it's mega stiff. Ugh. Yeah. That's pretty stiff, but I mean, whatever, like it's fine. Okay, that does it for this video. I don't really have anything else to say. It's now stuck on my hand. Okay, there you go. I don't have anything else to say. It's stupid good for the price. I don't personally enjoy it, but so many people will. So if you're willing to take a chance on it, I would recommend it. Thumbs up for me. Okay. If you guys are interested in the graphs of this one and my EQ profile as well, that's linked in the description. Check out the article that I've linked below, which is all about how new measurement tools and techniques are influencing IEM tunings of the future. And then also you can chat with me in our Discord along with other like-minded audio folks. You can tell us that we're wrong and you can have all kinds of fun with that. Okay, that does it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.